Hello, my name is Andrea Kathol, and I'm visiting the Hall of Late 19th Century Art in the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville, Arkansas. Today I will be discussing Under the Willows by John Singer Sargent. Under the Willows, created in 1887, is a painting of oil on canvas in the Impressionist style. It's 27 inches by 22 inches. I chose this painting because it epitomizes Impressionism. According to A History of Western Art, Impressionism was about studying the changes in light and color caused by weather conditions, and subject matter often included landscapes and water. This specific painting of Sargent's depicts a woman leisurely lying in a boat, soaking up the sun, hands behind her head, seemingly enjoying a break from the typical chaos of life. The leisurely and relaxed feel is conveyed not just through the subject matter, but also through Sargent's method of painting. His long, loose, rapidly applied, multi-directional brushstrokes create a sense of ease. It's so beautiful and amazing to see how with such simple brushstrokes, Sargent so perfectly created the impression of a reflecting pool of water. We feel as if we could almost reach our hand out and feel the water run between our fingers. And despite having a vibrant palette of red, green, purple, and white, the painting still exudes a restful atmosphere because of the mossy coolness and the warm sunlight. Sargent was clearly fascinated by the idea of capturing fleeting moments in life. The image he has painted for us shows us how the sunlight hit the water in one specific instance, how the undulating motion of the water leisurely floats the boat downstream. He immortalizes a single instance in time in this painting, which was the goal of Impressionists. The temporary shot of the water and the light is juxtaposed with the stillness and apparent permanence of the woman in the boat. Crystal Bridges phrases it well when they say that Sargent's interest in momentary optical effects is tempered by the stillness of the woman relaxing in the punt. This juxtaposition matches many typical Impressionist paintings of the late 19th century, contrasting landscape and man and showing the harmony but still present division between the two. Sargent was an expatriate, a group of American artists who sought the culture and artistic knowledge that they felt only existed in Europe. In the summer of 1887, Sargent studied in France with Claude Monet. According to Celebrating the American Spirit, Sargent was inspired by his friend and colleague Monet. Monet was well known for painting en plein air, which is a French expression that means in the open air, and is particularly used to describe the act of painting outdoors. Monet painted from his bateau atelier, which means floating studio in French. Monet would immerse himself into the scenes he painted. Here in Monet's own painting, La Bateau Atelier, we see what a typical studio boat looked like. In his summer of studying with Monet, Sargent also began to paint en plein air. Under the Willows was painted from a floating studio. Monet's paintings are what give Sargent the idea of immersing himself into the scene he was painting. It is believed that the strategy of painting en plein air is what allowed Sargent to create such lifelike pictures of nature. He was able to most accurately capture the light reflected off and absorbed into the water as he witnessed it before him. Besides just using similar painting setups, Monet and Sargent also mimicked one another's painting styles in their respective paintings. Monet uses similar loose, long brushstrokes to Sargent and creates the same relaxed feeling through the reflections on the water. Monet and Sargent fed off of one another to create the loose, languid style that we today call Impressionism. These paintings are interestingly different from one another. La Bateau Atelier has a large, almost obtrusive, man-made figure as the main subject of its painting. This conveys a feel that man disrupts the balance of nature instead of harmoniously joining it. But in Under the Willows, the main figure is the woman in the boat, and she blends with the surrounding nature scene, conveying that there is a beautiful and delicate balance between man and nature. Under the Willows by John Singer Sargent is a well-known and influential piece of American art that helped prove America as a worthy, art-creating country to the rest of the world. The highly impressionist style of John Singer Sargent creates an interesting contrast between movement and stillness in Under the Willows that should be appreciated by all Americans.